So just someone that's like overcome a lot of like trials and tribulations and kind of, yeah, I can't even put it into one sentence. It's just, it's what it is. It's me, like kind of like, as a person, like a defiant individual kind of thing. Like, you know what I mean? The world's thrown a lot kind of in my direction. I've kind of defied it, and you know what I mean. Managed to, and plus my initials are JD in it, so that's kind of where it's kind of, you know what I mean, conjured from. I've like from the youngest age, I used to play guitar as a kid. I always I used to stand in my back room, kind of rapping like to myself, like pretending that I was in front of an audience. Like when I was like 7, 8 years old, like, kind of just from listening to music, kind of thing. I've got quite a varied background of like from grime rap to heavy metal to like to instrumental music, fucking oriental and Gorgon chant, like you name it, like kind of, you know what I mean, that's literally standing in like parks, like spitting with the boys and that, like when we was like fucking 14, 15, I kind of got into actually started making music and that really, like when I was like late teens, kind of started recording like mates' bedroom studios and things like that, and you know what I mean, from there kind of built a momentum and realised that there was actually had something there and kind of just persevered really. From from performing like live and that, like we started off in like just in the youth clubs and that kind of performing, and then from there kind of started hitting like things like open mics and showcases and getting bookings off the back of that, and then from like live sets, radio and that, just like the first ever live set with one of my pals was like a DJ like, on a local radio station, and he shouted me down for a set one day, and I ended up spitting for about 5 hours. Like from the set was at 5, and then we didn't finish. And then like after his show was like a 2-hour set, and then another DJ came in, and I just carried on his set, and then another one came in. I was just about his set. And from there, I got a taste for radio, but we only had like one station local, and was hitting that for like a good year. And then when I started putting out music, I started getting shouted from like DJs in London and stuff, and that's where I obviously started just doing like the radio circuit in the London radio scene sort of thing. And obviously from one station you get noticed by another DJ, and then from there, and then obviously like mates who were getting booked for sets would like bring me through as well for their radio sets, and kind of from there just built a bit of a repertoire sort of thing and rapport with other DJs, and then kind of from word of mouth and sending music to DJs, etc., and just kind of being in situations where I could showcase kind of my abilities, and they obviously liked it and then took it upon themselves to kind of approach me to then, you know what I mean, come and jump on theirs. Content and substance first and foremost. Like everything that I say in songs is factual. Like I can do a lie detector test on any one of my songs and pass it quite well. Yeah, so being true to yourself and realistic first and foremost. Lyricism, like I put a lot of emphasis on like wordplay, fucking not so much punchlines, but about forcing punchlines kind of thing, and flows as well, delivery, etc. My delivery I could kind of touch up a bit more, but I feel like flow-wise as well, kind of got that down to a T. Like I'm very versatile. Like, on any tempo, I can master any tempo really without sounding big-headed. And just being able to be versatile and just not just basically sit in a box. I think being open to it. Like I can put a fucking, I don't know, jazz beat in front of me, and I'll find a way to kind of, you know what I mean, showcase myself in it. It gave me plenty of fucking sad, depressing shit to talk about, like really and truly, like because like it was never Disneyland for me, like as a kid and growing up kind of thing. So it gave me like plenty of content and stuff to like. Music is my kind of expression and my counselling sessions, if you like, for lack of a better term, because I never went counselling or nothing, but like I write my best music when I'm in a mood or reflecting on a previous situation or something that's happened, like an event that's happened in my life or a collection of events and etc. So it kind of, I can express my upbringing and everything I went through like in my younger years and even currently going through kind of thing comes out. I can voice in my music and it is my instant relief, because I think if I weren't able to do music, I'd have either fucking topped myself by now or I'd be in prison or something, you know what I mean? It wouldn't be a positive outcome kind of thing. Like. My proudest moment is obviously my little girl that I'm creating there. But in music, it's either when the Mobos shouted me out on Twitter kind of thing because they heard one of my songs, or being played on One Extra. That's probably my proudest, touch wood, like so far. Or like even or even just, I don't know. I can't put one particular moment because I've had a few little moments. Or no, actually being played, having my songs played in America. Like that's probably my proudest moment so far. Like. It is what it is. What it says in like I was venting, like kind of was like just working like jobs and shit that I just don't really enjoy doing. Like I was banging like fucking 14-hour shifts in like shitty warehouses over Christmas and that, and then once I was off work, like once like I'm back on building sites and that, once the Christmas period finished, and not really. Basically, like the song is just about the fact that. On one hand, it's like I'd rather be, if I could do music as a full-time job, I would, but reality is I've got bills to pay, I've got a kid to provide for, I've got like real life shit, like music don't pay the bills unless you're up there, like streams ain't worth fuck all, like unless it's Tidal, and Tidal ain't big in the UK, so it's, you know what I mean, like Spotify and all these streaming, they generate like not even a penny per stream, like, you know what I mean, so it's the fact of having to do like jobs that I don't really want to do, and plus the fact of like the minute you go quiet for a period, it's like everyone is, he just forgets what you've done, especially for my area, and that kind of being like one of the artists kind of at the forefront of like the local scene kind of thing, and not always being credited for the work that I've kind of done, and the fact that without something big-headed, I've put my area kind of on the map for music. Like there's no one. But yeah, there's a lot of artists around me in my circle that are doing bits, but apart from that, like it's me that's kind of took our scene to other cities and other areas around, and even internationally kind of thing, like, and just not really getting the kind of the credit I kind of deserve from, you know what I mean, the local kind of listeners as much, this kind of thing. Producers, it'd either be Trey Mission or Kid D, because the instrumentals they make like just so like kind of what I kind of that R&G kind of feels, and kind of, you know what I mean, that's what I'd love to make. Artists, obviously I know there's a question about who would you collaborate, and obviously I'm going to say Shaka because he's just amazing, he makes sick, like will just make the perfect hooks, but fuck knows, like, because there's artists that I would like, that I've grown up listening to, that I idolise, but I might not necessarily make good music with, kind of thing. Like my favourite, probably all-time artist is Marilyn Manson, but I don't think we'd make a good song together, kind of thing. But I can't even. I don't know. Yeah, just say Shaka for artists. Yeah. Again, the fact that I've got a kid to provide for, that kind of keeps me on my toes a bit, like, because, you know what I mean, I'm not, like, if I was just doing shit for myself, like, I would probably just give up, because I've never really, like, I'm always better when I've got like a purpose that isn't myself, kind of thing. So yeah, I'd say that's like my main motivation, and the fact that I know I've got a talent, but it's just I'm kind of not doing the most with it that I could be, so I don't know, it's like having a point to prove, really, like, I suppose. I know it sounds gay, but no one's really guided me in music. Like, there's no one that's ever sat there with me and said, right, this is the direction you need to go in, or I'm gonna help you get to this place. No one's really took me under their wing and kind of showed me anything, so I can't say anyone's guided. Like, I've got my friends around me, like producers and artists that I work with, that kind of, you know what I mean, we're sitting in the studio and they'll point me out where I'm going wrong, kind of thing, but yeah, there's no one that's really guided me or kind of given me that kind of, like, you know what I mean, along the way to kind of point me in the right direction kind of thing. To a certain extent, I just talk about in like just the wrongs of the world kind of thing, and all the shit that's going on in the country, like in our country, and the stuff that I personally see on a day-to-day basis. Kind of, I wouldn't say I'm invested in it as such, but it's like a part of my subject matter, like what's going on around me and what I'm seeing going on in the world and what pisses me off and what don't or what could be done better. But I wouldn't say I wouldn't put myself in the bracket as like a political rapper, like a Low Key or a Carla, even though they're sick and I respect what they do. Like I don't restrict myself to kind of just, you know what I mean, talking about politics and the social equality and social this and that all the time, because I feel people can get kind of bored because you just, after a while people think you're just ranting on. After a while I kind of try and keep, I don't know, even though most of my music is pretty miserable, I want to put myself in just that bracket of political MC kind of thing. It didn't, in a sense. It kind of, I think it showed a lot of people that only knew me for like grime sets and that raw, like maybe I'm actually an artist, I'm not just a grime MC that can shout lyrics at you and, you know what I mean, and, you know what I mean, get people hyped and just spit, you know what I mean, on 140 BPM, like show people like, even though the project before, Story So Far, that I put out years ago, again, wasn't just strictly grime, it wasn't just like strictly one tempo, that was a very experimental project. I feel like it kind of opened to a lot of people's ears to me that might have only perceived me as a certain way, but it didn't. Obviously, everyone wants their project to achieve fucking #1 status and all the rest, and it obviously didn't do that. But I feel like it did. It kind of, you know what I mean. Anyone that listens to it, kind of, as bad as it sounds, I haven't had any bad feedback from it to this day. It's been out like over a year now, apart from people just commented that it could have been mixed and mastered better, and that's the only kind of negative feedback I've really ever had for it. So, but yeah, no, it didn't get that. It didn't go #1 and take me global, and I'm not a millionaire off it. So no, it didn't do what I wanted it to do. But you know what I mean, it showed people that right, I'm not just a rapper, like, basically. I feel like I've experimented more, and I've not really, I don't know, obviously you always get better with time and age and like honing your craft kind of thing. Although I feel like with this project I haven't had the same time to practice, and we kind of made this kind of, I've written songs and then we've gone and done like 12-hour sessions in studio kind of thing, whereas before, like, there was a big time frame of like the first project was recorded over like large space of time, whereas a lot of most of this project has been done in like 2-3 sessions so far. We've still got a couple of tunes left to do. So again, now we'll just book like a 10 or 12-hour session, finish that up. So it's in times of it's been written over a very, very long period. Like some of the songs are like years old kind of thing, but I don't know. I can't really say how it's evolved. It's definitely improvised. It's definitely better than my last project, like in my opinion anyway. Some people might disagree, but and I've definitely tackled a lot more, there's a varied amount of sounds on there. Like there's a bit of hip hop, there's a bit of grime, there's a bit of like slime or whatever you call it, like melodic rap, R&G kind of, like, I don't know, stuff that you can't put into one, like, you know what I mean, you can't label it as like, oh, a grime album or a rap EP or a hip hop mixtape. Like it's I don't know, you can't even label it as anything. Like it's what it is. I can't talk about features because you know what I mean, I'm still waiting for a couple of verses, but production credits predominantly LB, the Beat Wizard, beats on sub. Who else has got productions on there? Hillside's got one on there. Avenue's Lit, I think he's got one on there if he ever actually gets the final beat, the finished beat to me. And JP Sounds as well, I've got a couple of beats from him as well. That's what it this project goes really, like, you know what I mean? Like, I can't, I do want to do a lot more live stuff, like I want to perform the songs, because back in the day, like off my first ever projects, like I was performing quite regularly, I performed a lot of songs of that, whereas the last project, like Far From Famous, I don't really have the resources or get the opportunity to kind of perform any of the songs live. Like I was just done a lot of sets kind of off the back of that, like, but so I just hope to do more live stuff and visuals and stuff like off of this project, because even the last one, it didn't have no promo, no visuals. It had singles obviously on radio and stuff, but it could, you know what I mean, I could have put a lot more into the promotion of it, which I didn't or weren't able to, like kind of, and plus life just a bit busy, like I work full time, I never really had the time to kind of showcase it and promote it as much as I'd like to, but so I don't know, I don't want to say expect this, I'll be doing wireless this year already, or you know what I mean, I'd like to, but you know what I mean, if I can speak it into existence, then yeah, fuck it, expect me to take over the world from it, you know what I mean. Early mornings, man, as I've got older, fucking late nights I'm shit at, like, you know what I mean, like, fucking, but then I'm not even a morning person either, but I don't know, I'm better, like, if I was to book an overnight studio session, I don't think I would get as much done as if I booked an early morning one and started from there, kind of thing. Well, it's time to kind of show them, because I went to studio the other night, I fell asleep, so early mornings. I can't call myself a workaholic because I ain't, like, I work a lot, but it's not doing what I want, so I'd say, yeah, life balance, like, I try and do my best to kind of balance it all, like, father, music, work. How to, like, navigate in life once you get older, things like taxes, learn more about taxes, mortgage, credit, and them, I don't know what the name for that subject is, but something that can prepare you for being an adult, and the fact that you're at some point you're going to have to pay rent, and how to navigate kind of in a bit more direction in school of what kind of careers are open to you. So I can't even name this particular subject, but something along the lines of real life preparation. It's hard, yeah, because I've been an avid for years. I had Windows, and I've only for the last year I've had an iPhone. And I feel like Windows is easier to fucking use, to be honest. Even though Apple, there's a lot you can do with them. You're so restricted. Like with Windows, like even when it comes down to the charger, but like you can to have Apple, all your technology's kind of got to be work around Apple, whereas Windows kind of thing, like I'd say Windows, but Apple does have Logic, so that's a hard one, but yeah, I'll go with Windows. Plus I've got an Xbox. Pineapple juice and Malibu. If we talk about alcoholic drink, if we talk about just a normal soft drink, it's cherry coke. My favourite food is probably there's a peri-peri chicken, or Mexican food. Grew up on Mexican food, so yeah, that fajitas, my baby mum made the best fajitas. Well, I've only got Netflix these days, so I do prefer TV, but yeah, it's Netflix. Like, all the TV I watch is on things like Catch Up and iPlayer, etc. The thing is, books, yeah, I feel like are more, they boost your intellect more. I grew up reading the fucking Halo novels, like, so yeah, I say books, like, but what movie have I watched recently that's kind of, the last movie I went to cinema to see was the new Star Wars, and I feel like that was, even though it was sick if you just appreciate special effects, but it was very rushed, so I can't really, but yeah, books. Even though Spotify's got better sound quality, I've got Apple Music personally, so obviously I have to go for what I've got in Apple Music. By kind of reflecting on your mistakes and your wrongdoings and kind of wisdom, learning from other people's kind of mistakes and shortcomings, or people's achievements, and kind of just taking, like, just having a good overview of life and seeing where you went wrong, but you never stop learning. Every day there's something new that you're gonna, there's someone that's gonna tell you that you didn't know the day before, so just absorbing, using your ears and your eyes. Yeah, music, apart from the fucking music, the Xbox, but even now, you know what I mean, playing Halo. That's my hobby out of music. Yeah, Rush, I fucking Rush every day, but I snooze my alarm about 30 times and then I'll Rush. Yeah. I have to make the pack lunch the night before, so I can't even say I'm prepared for the day on the same day. Right, well, if I've got my little girl, then, you know what I mean, doing up dad duties, like, if not, then it's rare, but I'll try and get a lay in on a Sunday, but I can't remember the last time I had one, so yeah. Like, typical Sundays, having a big girl. Marilyn Manson, just because I'd like to pick his brains, but because he's a fucking genius, like, as a musician, as a person, the way he now turned controversy into a fucking multi-million-pound fucking lifestyle. Jesus, because I'd like to, because he could kind of give me the, you know what I mean, know how the rights and wrongs, and he's a third person, Tag dinner with him. If there's a romance flex, it'd be Angelina Jolie, boy. That fucking TikTok shit, bro, with all these weird apps and stupid dances that people are doing, like, and I don't know, like, yeah, just fucking the start, like, I can't say a particular thing, but it's just the people that the lengths that people go to now to be noticed, kind of on social media, and that, like, that people are literally just doing any stupid shit just to kind of be noticed. Like, so yeah, kind of clout chasing. That'll be saying that's what everyone labels it as. So yeah, chasing clout. Say Air Forces, like, there used to be Air Maxes, but then loads of crackheads started wearing them, so I stopped wearing them. But even the new fucking, like, I don't even know the ones I've got, what they're actually called, like, but yeah. But yeah, say Air Forces, custom Air Forces, like, ones you make yourself on Nike ID, they're my favourite. A leopard, bro. Like, if I die, I want to be reincarnated as a leopard. But I don't know, I'd say elephants are the ones that have the longest memories, so they would be the ones that if one was going to give you wisdom or anything, it would be an elephant. My own style, everyone jumps in waves now, like, everyone's doing Afro swing, I didn't do Afro swing. Everyone's jumping on drill now. I was scrapping on drill beats when it weren't really popular for grime MCs to do so. So yeah, I'd say my own style. I was actually trying to fucking think of this one the other day, like, and it just annoyed me, but I had her name in my head, and what's it, you see the girl in Scary Movie 2 with the big tits, like, she was the one, I can't remember the actor that played her, but when I was a kid, she was my childhood crush. But it was fucking say Angelina Jolie again, like, she had bigger tits and bigger ass, so it would be her. I'd go back here to, I think it's 2016. I feel like I was in, I think it's 2016. I feel like that was a good kind of year. But if I could go forward, I don't know, because you don't know what the future holds for you, so I don't want to jump forward and it turns out, you know, she fucking with life and I'm homeless and dying or something, or crackhead. Yeah, I'll go back. Never guaranteed. Nothing to be ashamed of. Not always found. Spotting a snake. Shaka. A track that's not released yet is called Purpose or Involved. Produced by LB. Not to trust anyone. Shit. being played in America. To be a multi-billionaire. My name is Jack, and I'm I'm not that one.